What's the crack? I'm the Minyon from Allcast Irish Gamers, and I'm going to ask you a good question. If you've been playing Apex Legends, do you really want to have mech robots in this game? Or will it break it? Unless you've been hiding under some massive rock for the past few weeks, you will have missed that Apex Legends dropped and took over the entire gaming community. It's the highest watched thing on Twitch. Everyone's playing it. All the big influencers are jumping on this game. Now, it's brought to you by Respawn, the makers of Titanfall, which is why you will see a lot of likenesses between this and Titanfall. Mainly the Apex part. You know, there was a faction actually called the Apex guys. Never mind. If you've played Titanfall, you'll understand. But it's a free-to-play battle royale. Now, do you really want to have giant mech robots that are completely overpowered in a battle royale game? Maybe in their own mode, I suppose. But battle royales tend to be pretty much the same thing. It's pick up weapons, pick up health, pick up ammo, and whatever it takes to try and help you and your squad beat your opponents and be number one. Now, call me crazy, but I don't think adding giant mech robots into a game like this is really going to benefit anybody. Sure, it might look cool, but there's a lot of work to do, which we will get into. Battle royales tend to be quite hard enough as they are. So, do you really want to bring in things that can like insta-kill you or take too long to kill? I don't know. It's a dodgy one. Especially when it comes to battle royales, because, you know, it's all about salvaging and taking what your opponent has after you kill them. And it's like, what do you salvage from a mech? Maybe one of its batteries, you know, because the batteries used to give you a shield. So there is a lot of work to do, and maybe they can do it, maybe they can't. I'm on the side that think they can. I loved Titanfall 2. It was a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, I surely recommend going and playing it. But to suggest putting mech robots in a game that's already extremely hard and difficult, I think it's a bold move. Now, of course, they can pull it off. It's Respawn. They've got the ability. They've got the IP. It's just gonna be super difficult. Like, I die constantly in this game. Like, really. Like, come on. Ah, medic! Although Apex Legends isn't like other battle royale games, they have introduced a few new mechanics that have made the game very enjoyable. The ability to grab your player's card and recall them in. The reviving is quite quick. The class system is ingenious. They all have their own abilities, their own moves, perks and such. So it's not just your run-of-the-mill drop, here you go, pick up guns and kill each other. They have done a lot of work on this, and you can see why it's so popular. The Titanfall 2 wasn't very popular. It was released sandwiched between two big titles, Battlefield 1 and I think it was World War 2, and it just didn't get the traction it needed. I can see a lot of other games when I look at this. I can see mixtures of Titanfall. I can see mixtures of, you know, a little bit of Fortnite, PUBG, but I'm also seeing maybe a tiny shade of Evolve. Evolve is probably another one that went under people's radar. It was the first game I got from my PS4, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was kind of the same. Everyone had their own class. They were all working together to beat like one overpowered person who was the monster. And yeah, it was a cool game. It was fun for what it was. It was just a shame it didn't really get the notoriety it deserved. Because at the end of the day, if someone was really good with a monster, 4 people who aren't communicating, aren't working together, are just going to get demolished. And I think in that sense it wasn't really very well balanced, but it was a great game. It was fun, it built a lot of teamwork, and it was a game that kept me playing for quite a while before I did get a little frustrated with it and got a little bored. But the monsters were cool, the people were cool, and I think this is definitely a game that people took ideas from without even realizing. The exception with Titanfall 2 is it was a really fast-paced game. I mean, it was so quick. There was just crazy stuff going on, mech robots, you're even fighting AI at times, and it really was one of those games that you were immersed in from the get-go. Just spawn, shoot, kill a few people, probably die, spawn again, and repeat the process. Now, a lot of the guns were fast and overpowered because they had to face these robots. They dumbed it down. They slowed the game down. They really kind of focused the mechanics for Battle Royale. And I get that. I understand that. That needs to be done. Nobody wants to jump into a Battle Royale and die 20 times before they get a kill. It's still very team-based. I mean, you're really relying on your teammates to do a lot of the work, back you up. And hell, if they're good enough, they can carry it the whole way. In my situation, because I'm not very good at these games. But it's all about finding the weapons to suit you. Now, I'm not very good with assault rifles in this game, but I did notice I had a bit of a skill for the old sniper. So that's what I'm going to focus on from now on, and that's kind of got me to like the game more. You do have to be very quick looting people, I must say though, because if your teammates get there before you, you're just going to be left with the shit left over. Another thing I found out the hard way was, if you're taking fire, don't try and revive your teammate. Do it in a few minutes. There'll be time to revive. Depending on where you land, there's going to be a lot better loot. It will basically tell you the moment you get there whether it's going to be mid-tier loot, high-tier loot, and certain areas will be hotspots. They'll be noticeable on the map. You just land in, grab whatever you can as quickly as you can, and try and fend off everyone else who has the same idea as you. If you're lucky, you'll get there and no one else has that idea. They'll think, I don't know, I keep going there, I keep dying, I'll leave it this time. You could be the lucky squad that gets there and gets all that really good loot, and this will set you up for a great run. It's not a guaranteed win by any means, but you will have the best platform to start from. I'm not messing. Just try and get that high tier loot. It also helps a lot to have a few people on your team with different weapons. That way you're not all looting the same ammo. You've got different ranged abilities. So I'm sniping and my two mates are trying to get in close and flank with their quick weapons, with their shotguns or what have you. And me giving them this cover fire is what allows them to flank. You know, I'm keeping the fire focused on me, blind to everything else. They will hopefully not know that my mate is working his way around to the left and he's going to try and take them out from the sides. There you go. That's how you play games like this. If everyone's running around with machine guns and shotguns and you run into a situation where you're outranged and you're outgunned, you're screwed. Everyone's going to be using up the same ammo, these are all going to run out, and it's just going to be chaotic. So it's good to maybe delegate and say, right, you be sniper, I'll be close range, yada yada. Knowing where to land is one of the big things you're going to learn. Now, it's going to take a bit of practice. You're going to have to land in numerous places, try and get used to where all the weapons are. But at the end of the day, how do you work mech robots into this? Do you bring them in as kill streaks? Do you start off in mech robots and then once you lose your robot you're gone? I mean, there's a lot to factor in here. I love the executions as well. Now, they're marginally not as good as the ones in Titanfall 2, I have to say. I was very impressed with everything in Titanfall 2, and you'll notice a lot of the guns, mechanics, and even the moves, the way they can phase out and all that kind of stuff, it's all been brought over to Apex. So they can get away with that, that's their IP, good for them. A lot of stuff in this that you haven't seen in other Battle Royale games, knockdown shields, all that kind of stuff, very important. It'll keep you alive long enough for your mate to revive you. But what do you do if a mech attacks you? I mean, mechs can pretty much own you in one shot. Like, I don't think that's going to work whatsoever. Maybe in a separate mode, yes, but bringing it into Apex as it is now, no. Now, there is other cool stuff you can do in Apex. You can tag things using your orb button. So I just told my mate, hey, there's an extended mag, you have it, I don't need it. That's clever. That means even without mics, you can still be an effective squad. And don't get me wrong, I love the mechs and I love the Titan fighting in Titanfall 2. I just don't see it working in a Battle Royale situation. Not without a major overhaul to the maps, to the weapons, to the time to kill, maybe making the mechs a bit weaker, but then you'll have people complaining, oh, I got in a mech, it didn't last very long. It was just total chaos in Titanfall 2 sometimes. And how are you going to bring that into a Battle Royale? Battle Royales are chaotic enough as it is. I mean, you've got people flanking you left, right and centre, you're trying to loot their weapons while you're being shot at, There's so much going on, and now you want to throw giant robots into the mix? Maybe I'm wrong. It could work. It could be the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know. But what do you think? Do you think mechs would work? If you've played Titanfall 2 and you know how dangerous some of these mechs can be, and especially when people get really good with them, it'll make everyone's life a lot harder, and I'm on the fence about it. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm hoping they prove me wrong, because I have been proved wrong before. I was very taken back by this battle royale, and I'm seriously looking forward to anything they update to it. So please mention in the comments what you'd like to see coming up in Apex, and if you would like to see mech robots or not. Well, that's all from me, guys. I have been the Minyon from the Allcast Irish Gamers, and I will see you in the next video.